What's going on, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and join me for my overview of the Superman Man of Steel Volume 4 hardcover from DC Comics. So let's get started. So here we are at the grand finale of John Byrne's Superman, which DC has decided to dub Superman the Man of Steel. We've had 4 volumes, and I believe they haven't solicited a 5th one, but I do believe this is it, because if you've seen my Superman reading order, and by the way, I promised to go back to part 2, we're just unpacking, I gotta find books. Obviously, I have to find books. These shelves have never looked barer. Anyway, where the hell was I? Oh yes! I don't think DC is going to do a Volume 5, because this leads directly into Superman Exile and other stories. There's a trade paperback that's missing that collects those Action Comics issue, or little 2-pagers, but I just don't see a need of it. I mean, I would love to see stuff like this continue. Call it the Triangle Years, call it Exile and other stories, whatever. But I think this is the final one. But here it is. And for those wondering, this is what the spine looks like. Looks like we are back to the orange, yellowish spine with this iconic image of Superman. Actually, I really like the design of this book. And then the back of the book, which is this is a little bit confusing, but the first meeting of the Man of Steel and his cousin, maybe? Could be his cousin? Because this all, of course, takes place after Crisis on Infinite Earths. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't note down here is where you're going to get all the content, the price of the book, which is $49.99, and the New Age of Superman continues. It was a new age back in 1986. We're looking into 1988, 89. Underneath the dust jacket, we have 2 different images, not by John Byrne, surprisingly. The spine of the book looking different than the one on the dust jacket. Like, for example, this is Walter Simonson right there. Superman knocking the crap out of Brainiac. All right, let's get this book open and showcase the artwork and then talk about, maybe what they can do with future hardcovers. All right, so let's get this opened. I find it interesting that the book does not have a flat finish to it, like the actual art on the board, because the rest of the book has a matte type of paper. That is a nice image right there by John Byrne. And here are all your creators: John Byrne, Jerry Ordway, Paul Cooperberg, and Roger Stern. And then all the artists right here, separating the pencilers from the inkers and the colorists and the letterers. And then the collection cover artist. Here is your table of contents with this image of Superman right there. And more of the table of contents. So starting with Superman in Action Comics. This is the Checkmate issue. Yeah, when Checkmate appears through these pages. So this does collect Action Comics 698 to 600. 600 being a huge issue. Superman Annual Number 2, Superman issues 16 through 22, Adventures of Superman 439 to 444, Doom Patrol Number 10, and it also features a lot of the pinup and extras that we're going to look at in the back. But the most important thing is the Who's Who Update 88 is what's included in this particular volume. Now, one thing you probably notice is when looking at the dust jacket, it looks different than the colors that they use for the solicitations. The color for the solicitations were just this white design on it, but this is this is what it actually looks like. I was surprised too. I was waiting around for something with a white border, but this is what we got. We got John Byrne writing and drawing, continuing this Adventures of Superman. We have Carl Keschel doing some of the inks. We have Jerry Ordway drawing some of this stuff in here in the Adventures of Superman. So you not only get those phenomenal creators, but you also get Mike Mignola in here. You get Andy Kubert, Eric Larson. You get Ross Andrew, Murphy Anderson, John Beatty, Brett Breeding, Ron Friends, Dick Giordano, just to name a few of the creators that help out in this particular volume. I always thought this character right here, the Silver Banshee, was one of the creepiest creations. Sucking the life out of men, I am not interested in that kind of party. But yes, John Byrne is still writing, scripting, a lot of the stuff. Depending on the comic, he is getting help on the issues. And all of this leads into Action Comics number 600. Now, Action Comics number 600 even as a kid, I thought it was a really strange kiss where Superman just sees one. He's had this fascination with Wonder Woman, and you see it since their first meeting. He talks about the crossover, the Millennium crossover, and he's like, oh, I should have done something. I should have said something. But he's an alien, and he doesn't have that much experience with women, so he doesn't know how to react. So what he does is lay a big one on her. Weird. I know. Probably not the best way to hit on a woman. Absolutely not the best way, but that's the way he approached it. And I loved her reaction. He's like, it was somewhat awkward. Yeah, they've always had this natural attraction to each other. But despite that weird kiss, we have this amazing team up between both of these massive forces of the DC universe up against these newerish villains to the post-crisis world. So you have Darkseid and the Sad in here, and it's a little bit of a retcon as to where the Amazons come from, who the new gods are. That's John Byrne doing a little bit of a retcon on some of Jack Kirby's stuff. But like I mentioned, issue 600 is huge. There's a little stories back here just featuring different characters. This is the Mike Mignola one with Hawkman, I think. Is this the one with Hawkman? But Mike Mignola does, this is the story right here, does supply some of the artwork in here. And this is the end, though. This is where John Byrne says goodbye to this character that he helped just relaunch. And after this, I think he went back to Marvel for a little bit, started tampering with a little bit of his own creator-owned stuff. Came back to DC from time to time, but it just wasn't the same. Like, he had written, drawn Superman. This is the Eric Larson of Doom issue of Doom Patrol. Written and drawn Superman for so long that, he took a break and left the book. Now, after this, of course, we have the phenomenal Louise Simonson step in, Roger Stern, Dan Jurgens, and of course Jerry Ordway, who had been drawing the book with John Byrne. He is actually the one creator from the very beginning of this whole new era, post-crisis, to still remain in the book. If you want more detail as to what happens here during this era, I did do a Superman reading order, but I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, But anyway, the biggest question I know I'm going to get... two things. Number one, we have the return of this character right here. And this is Supergirl, but it's a different type of Supergirl. Because in the pages of Crisis on Infinite Earths, we saw his cousin give her life up. She sacrificed her life. And in this, we have a new Supergirl. Even though this is post-crisis and it's rewriting DC history, who exactly is she? Is she related to Superman? The answers are pretty interesting. We also have returning villains from the movies, and the least I say about it, the better, because there's a controversial decision that Superman makes through these pages that a lot of people were like, even back then, even before the age of the internet, people were arguing in comic book stores that no way in hell would Superman ever do that. And others were like, he had no choice. What are you talking about? It's not like this is the first time he's done anything like that. And if you've not read it, you'll see what I mean when you get to the ending of one particular story in here. Now, as far as the extras, let's look at those. Here we have some extras here, some pinups. This is the cover to the trade paperback of Man of Steel number 9 and the cover to volume 8 right there. And then the handbook. Just different pictures. And then the image of Superman. Again, all printed in this matte paper. But the binding, of course, is the elephant in the room that we have to talk about, which is the exact same thing that the previous hardcovers had, and that is glued binding, and you can see the bunches going into the actual inner spine right there. So that is glued binding, and the book does have a hard time staying open towards the very beginning, unless I've opened this and try to crack the glue a little bit. The one thing I don't suggest, and I've seen other people suggest, is take a screwdriver, a butter knife to make sure you crack that glue. Don't do that. You could damage the spine. Just do it naturally. It'll start opening up more and more. You are going to get some gutter loss, and the biggest one comes from this image right here, which is a very iconic image of two of these big characters meeting for the first time. That's the way it's supposed to look on the panel, even though it's a double-page spread. And this is the way it looks inside of the book because of the glued binding. You have to hold it down to see his face. We've seen that happen before. I don't know if that's the bothers you, maybe stick with the trade paperbacks. Not that those were any better. We don't have much choice when it comes to these particular collected editions with our favorite Son of Krypton. But book has 520 pages, retails for $49.99. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your confirmation email from CGN, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this hardcover. Let me know in the comments down below if you are picking these up, if you're hoping and praying one day we'll get an omnibus, or you're okay with the standard edition hardcovers, or you didn't even upgrade your trade paperbacks. I would love to know all those comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We are on Spreadshop and Patreon, amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so, and thank you so much to our existing patrons. But more importantly, all of you stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.